Hey guys, it's Thursday, April 16th. I'm taking lesson 8.4. This is page 475. I'm actually going to take this lesson and split it in half into part 1 and part 2. I'm going to do a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow. And the reason behind that is there's a little bit more to digest in this section than there has been in the past sections. I think it won't be a problem for you once you get the hang of it, but it combines what we've been doing plus adds another level to it. So I'm going to be doing pages 475, most of 476, and some of 477 in this video. And then, you can do the homework page to go with it tonight. I'll also be doing it on Zoom today too. I'll go over that in a little bit. But then you'll do the rest of the practice problems from this page in tomorrow's YouTube video. Plus the problems from the next page. So I'm splitting this one in half. I'm going to try it that way this week, so maybe it's a little less for your brain to digest at one time. Like I said, this section we would have spent 2 days on in class. All the other sections that I've done videos for before were all things we probably would have only spent 1 day at a time on each. This is something that's just a little bit more, I think, to digest. So that's why I'm splitting this one up like I would have done in class. So join me on page 475 and we'll work through these problems together. This is multiplying a fraction or a mixed number by a whole number. So yesterday we did the review, but the day before that we learned how to multiply a whole number and a fraction. This is multiplying a whole number and a fraction, but some of them are a whole number times a mixed number, which remember, a mixed number has a fraction and a whole number built into one thing. So it's a little bit more thinking involved behind it because of that extra piece. So this problem says Christina is planning a dance routine. At the end of each measure of music, she will make 1 1/4 turn. So like she'll spin around one whole time and 1/4 of the way around the next time. How many turns will she make after the first 3 measures of music? So it says you can multiply a mixed number by a whole number, and you can. It says, will Christina, over in the green box, will Christina make more or less than 1 1/4 turns in 3 measures of music? Well, she's going to be making more because she's doing 1 1/4 for each of those 3. So by the time she's done, she will have done more than just the 1 1/4. So she will have more. What operation will you use to solve the problem? We were going to use multiplication. Or repeated addition. That would be fine too. But today you're going to see more of a connection of how these go to how repeated addition and multiplication works together with fractions. All right, so it says write and solve an equation. So I've got 3 times 1 1/4 because she makes 1 1/4 turns in each of the 3 measures. So that's where the 3 is. So I've got 3 times. This gets turned into an improper fraction. So that was my video yesterday because like I said, there's a lot of going back and forth between mixed numbers and improper fractions in this section. That's why I did the review video yesterday. So if you didn't watch that one, go back and check it out. So to turn this into an improper fraction, it's going to be 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So this becomes 3 times 5/4. 5/4 and 1 1/4 are the same thing. I'm just swapping them out. I'm not changing the size or anything like that. I'm just swapping them out. So that's what this to do here. And then you're going to multiply, just like you learned yesterday or the day before. So it'll be 3 times 5 is 15. And then your bottom number doesn't change because you're not changing the size of your piece. So 15/4. But again, we don't talk that way. We don't talk and say, she's going to make 15/4 of a turn. That doesn't make any sense. So we got to convert it back to a mixed number. So this just kind of writes it out into repeated addition and swaps it back into the mixed number. So I will do it in the way that I have been showing you how to do it, which is division. But if you want to follow it, so you have all the blanks filled in the book, I'll do it that way first. So we have 15/4. So you're going to have to write 1/4 15 times. They do 4 of them for you. So you're going to do them 11 more times. So it's going to take a little while. This is why I don't really like repeated addition so much. It's not too bad for small problems. Like if you had, okay, what's 3/4 written as repeated addition or whatever. And you only have to write a couple things. It's not so bad. But like problems like this, where you get into the bigger and the bigger numbers, you're going to be here forever. You're way more likely to make a mistake by trying to keep track of all of these than just by multiplying. So there's 15 1/4 written out here. So you start grouping them together in groups of 4. It'd be like if I had my circle pieces and I had 4 pieces, I could put them together and make one whole circle. So that's one whole circle. This is one whole circle. This is one whole circle, and this is 3/4 of another circle. So I can do 3 whole circles and 3/4 of another circle, which means she made 3 3/4 turns. But you can also use division. Remember, all fractions are division problems, which in my opinion is a little bit quicker, but again, it's up to you what makes the most sense to you. 4 goes into 15 3 times. And then I get the same answer. I get 3 whole groups of 4. 1, 2, 3. And then I have 3/4 of another one. 3/4 size pieces left over. So you could have skipped this and just gone straight for this if you wanted to. If you multiply 3 times 1/4, is the product greater than or less than 3? Well, just do it and see what happens. So I got 3 times 1/4. So then I've got 3 times 1 is 3. And 1/4. So 3 times 1/4 is 3/4. Is the product greater than or less than 3 wholes? Well, it's less than, for sure, because it's much, much smaller than 3. Which you would think, okay, 3 times another number, hey, that's going to make something bigger than 3. Because we're multiplying, we go bigger. But the problem is, you're multiplying by less than a whole number. That only works if you're multiplying by whole numbers. So because this is smaller than that, it's actually going to end up being smaller than it was to start with, which is kind of weird to think about, but if you follow the rules, it will stay there. So, explain how you can tell that 3 times 1 1/4 is greater than 3 without finding the exact product. I'm not so concerned that you can do this without finding the exact product. This is more thinking about it through the eyes of estimation. But I mean, I would just go ahead and find it. But if you want to get technical about this one, it's greater than 3 because this has got this one whole number attached to it. And it's not just 1/4. This one's less than because it's just a fraction times a whole number. Because it's a mixed number, it's got a whole number attached to this fraction. It's going to be bigger when it's done. All right, page 476. I am actually going to have you cross this part out. This is, again, just review. It's just practicing turning mixed numbers and into improper fractions and vice versa. So this is what we practiced yesterday. I can do this one real quick with you because this matches the methods we've been talking about. This kind of goes at it from a different perspective than we're doing, and I don't really want to confuse you. So I'm just going to ignore that. Use the trick over you multiply 5 times 8 plus 1 over 5, okay? But for this one, you use the division like we've done before. So 5 goes into 32, because this is 32/5. So there's 6 times. You get 2 left over. So then you get 6 2/5. Again, you're not sure how that works, go back and watch that video from yesterday. Okay, so this is where it all starts to come together. This is multiplying a whole number times a mixed number, sorry. So it says write 2 2/3 as a fraction, which basically just means improper fraction. It's not writing it as a mixed number, it's writing it as just a plain fraction. So this gets transferred into, instead of 5 times 2 2/3, this is now 5 times 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8 over 3. So 5 times 8 is 40 over 3. That says divide the numerator by 3. That just means turn it back into a mixed number. So come over here, divide. 3 goes into 4 one time. Bring down your 0. 3 goes into 10 3 times, which means we have 13 and 1/3 size pieces left. Okay. So with these ones, you have to look at the directions, because the directions all over this page are going to tell you, write the product as a mixed number. Well, the quickest way to figure this out is to turn your mixed number into an improper fraction, do the multiplication that we learned before, and then turn it back. There is another way to do this too, and I'll get to that here in a second, but this is kind of, I think, the quickest way to do it, the most straightforward way to do it. There is a way that you can split up this mixed number though. So I'm going to skip number 3 because, I mean, we can just understand that 13 1/3 is reasonable because we found the answer. I'm not super concerned about that. This is the other way of doing it. If this makes more sense to your brain, that's fine, but you do have to do a little extra work to go with it. So it says to find 5 times 2/3. So it's the same problem as it is up here. It's not changed. This kid and this problem just does it a different way, and it does work. Dylan says he can find this with using 5 times 2 and then adding it to 5 times 2/3. So what he did was he took the 2 and 2/3, split it apart, and then did 5 times 2 and then 5 times 2/3 and then added them back together. Yes, that does work. So this is a second way of doing this. This is kind of the first strategy of doing it this way, just converting it and then converting it back. This way splits it up. So this would be 5 times 2 is 10 plus 5 times 2/3. 5 times 2 is 10 over 3. So this becomes 10 and 10/3, which we don't write mixed numbers this way. So we have to turn this 10/3 back into a mixed number and then add it into the 10. So I'm going to actually erase this. So this equals 10 plus 10/3 is the same thing. 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 left over. So that would be 3 1/3. Add those whole numbers together and you get 13 1/3. It's the same as this, except for, like I said, it's a little bit more work. But if that makes more sense to your brain, if it makes more sense to have your brain split up this mixed number, multiply by each part of it, and then put it back together, that's fine. You are more than welcome to do it this way if it makes more sense to you. Some of you actually really like turning mixed numbers into improper fractions. So this, you can use that strategy for this. I think this is a little bit quicker because then you're only, because the hardest part I think about some of these is turning the improper fraction back into a mixed number. And here you have to do that, you know, I mean, I guess you only have to do it once, but there's that extra step in here. This only has you do it one time. It's up to you which way you do it. Okay, so I'm going to call this the conversion method because you're converting from mixed number to an improper and then back. I'm going to call this method the splitting method. So you can use either one that you like to use. I don't care which one you use, whichever makes more sense to your brain. So I'm going to actually do this problem in both ways so you can see them side by side, see which pick out. We've done that before. We've looked at strategies next to each other and you can see which one makes the most sense to your brain, see which one you like doing. So the way this is set up over here, this is going to be, I'm going to call it, like I said, this the conversion method. They don't really have special names. I'm just giving them names so you can tell the difference between them. So this becomes, I'm going to turn this into an improper fraction. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. It's 11/3. So then I can just multiply. 2 times 11 is 22 over 3. And then I can divide to figure out what it is. So 3 goes into 22 7 times. Left over 1, so that becomes 7 1/3. But you could also do it in the split method. Oops. Okay, so that was the original problem. I'm going to split this up into 2 times the whole number plus 2 times the fraction. That becomes 6 plus 2 times 2 is 4 over 3. This is 1 1/3 plus 6 which is 7 1/3. It's the same as this one. You get the same answer both times. Just pick which one you like the best. So I'm actually not going to do both of these problems both ways down here. I'm just going to do it the way that your book really says it out, but if you want to do it this way, you can. I just don't have enough space under each of these problems to do them both ways. So, you know what, actually, I'll do one more both ways. I'll compromise. And then I'll do this one with the conversion and this one with the split. So, write that down so don't forget. Both, conversion, split. If you want to try these on your own without watching me do them, you can pause the video here and then jump in. But if you want to do them with me, then just let it play. So this one, I'm going to split it down the middle. Conversion, so you can see both again. So, actually, I lied. I'm sorry. I can't do the conversion with this one. Sorry, I should have looked ahead. Wah! I'm just going to swap these around here because this is not a mixed number. So you don't need to do that. You can just multiply. You know how I'm always telling you to like look at the problem before you start digging into it? That's what I should have done just now. Oh geez, I'm doing it again. I'm going to smooth these around a little bit. So I'll just do this as normal. So this will be 6 times 2 is 12 over 5. And then I turn that into a mixed number. 5 goes into 12 2 times with 2 pieces left over. Because it says write it as a mixed number, so your answer has to be in mixed number form. So I'll do conversion on this one because it is a mixed number, so you're going to have to use a little extra strategy going on there. So this becomes 3, and 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11, which equals 33 over 4, which equals 4 goes into 33 8 times with 1 piece left over. And then this one I'll do the split method. So I'll do 2 times 1 here, plus 2 times 5, 6. That's 2 plus 10 over 6. 2 times 5 is 10 over 6. Turn that into 2 plus 6 goes into 10 one time with 4 left over. So that becomes 3 4/6. So that's your answer on that. Like I said, I don't care which way you do it. You use the split method, the conversion method, but don't do like I did. Like, make sure you check the problem first. This one, it just kind of tricked you a little bit. It threw in just a regular one. It didn't give you a mixed number anymore. So just be careful because you don't even need to do a conversion on this one because there's nothing to convert. It's already there. So this is actually where we're going to end this video because tonight your homework assignment is to do this is page 479. If you're watching this video on Thursday, April 12th, you can join me for Zoom at 1:30, and I will be going over this page with you. We'll get as many done as we can within that time. If you are not watching it, like I said, I'm hoping I can get those Zooms uploaded and you can watch them if you have to watch them at a different time. But then tomorrow, I will go over these problems with you. And then I will do some of these on this page with you too. There is no Zoom tomorrow, but there will be today to go over this page with you. So if you have any questions, you can message me or you can just wait till Zoom. It depends on what works for your schedule. I will talk to you guys later and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!